If you watched my video about deputyships for young adults with special educational needs, you might be interested in today's video on will trusts or trusts for disabled people. I'm Nino Cuffaro, I'm a solicitor, and this is Talk Legal with Nino. So the first thing to understand when making a will, and I'm going to repeat my old mantra here, you're not making it for yourself because you're going to be dead. You're making it for the people that you leave behind. And that's why when making one, it's really important to get specialist legal advice from a solicitor who works in this area of law. And I understand that there are lots of offerings out there for wills, and some are irresistibly cheap. So as a consequence, you might think they're really simple, but they're not. You're making decisions about who looks after your children if you die before they're adults, who receives the assets that you've spent a lifetime acquiring, inheritance tax. The taxman's going to take 40% of anything over your nil rate band. In today's money, that's £325,000. And if you've got a residential property and you're leaving it to your kids, could be $500,000, but not in all cases. You're deciding who's going to deal with this after you're dead. But what about if they die before you? I know there's lots of people dying in this video, but the point I'm making is, can you really get all that advice, tax efficiency, document drafted, signed, online or without using a solicitor, just for a few quid? A chap called Kurt Vonnegut said, in this world, you get what you pay for. Listen, I didn't know who he was either. I just Googled the quote for buying cheap stuff. Now, I started this video talking about wills, will trusts or trusts for disabled people. So let me define what that means in the context of this video. I'm talking about someone incapable of managing their property due to a mental disorder, and that's within the meaning of the Mental Health Act, or someone in receipt of certain benefits as a result of a disability. And whilst not every disabled person receives benefits, the two often go hand in hand. If that person receives a lump sum gift on your death, the benefits that they've been receiving might be affected. And you've also got to consider whether that person can manage those assets that they're going to receive from your estate. Another consideration is just making a will doesn't mean your estate won't pay inheritance tax. You need to get some estate planning advice from your solicitor too, and usually a financial advisor at the same time. And disability trusts essentially ring fence the gift you're leaving to that person, meaning that in most cases their benefits won't be negatively impacted by your gift. That's got to be a good thing. But it doesn't end there, because when drafting a will trust or a trust of any kind, you're going to be giving certain powers to the trustees. Some are discretionary, meaning that they have the power to make decisions themselves. Some aren't. And the drafting of that can impact the tax treatment of the assets in the trust. And there are special rules for taxing a disabled person's trust, and there are different rules for income tax, capital gains tax, inheritance tax. If you want to take a peek at the rules, Google HMRC Inheritance Tax Manual. If you can get your head around those, I might give you a job. Bottom line, whatever you're doing, get specialist advice. Listen, my mum gets nervous about buying coffee pods online or anything from someone who hasn't been recommended. Imagine making probably the biggest decisions of your life or death for the people that you love most without making sure the person who gives you that advice knows what they're talking about. Remember what I said about Kurt What's-His-Face earlier on. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found that useful, and if you want to see more fun, informative videos with legal tips, advice on how not to buy cheap stuff, hit the subscribe button.